Today in Kyiv, France is delivering 40 Colossus robots in Ukraine. The same robots that became worldwide famous after the fire in Notre-Dame. Now these technologies will help protect Ukrainian rescuers who work every day under missile and drone attacks. And today we are joined by Cyrille Kabbara, the founder and CEO of Shark Robotics, one of Europe's leading companies in civil protection robotics. Welcome to our program.
Thank you. Hello and welcome.
Mr. Kabbara, there is what kind of the moment was when you decided to send these robots to Ukraine and to help Ukrainian rescue teams work here on the ground?
Well, as a former French army member, I founded this company 7 years ago with a clear idea to saving lives through technology. So this is the DNA of the company. And currently we are involving on the 3 different sectors, which are firefighting, law enforcement and defense. So the main idea is to providing effectiveness on the ground, on the battlefield, to support the firemen, the operators on the battlefield to be more effective, efficient, and also to protect them. So we deliver more than 300 robots in 25 countries. And we are very proud here to deliver 40 robots in 7 months for the State Emergency Service of Ukraine in order to support them on the ground to avoid especially the double tap attack made by the Russians. So they strike a first time in localization, they wait 20 minutes for the first rescuer and then they strike again. So in this case, they use the robot to go inside to find casualties, to extend the fire and then move out in security.
And these robots already been used, and I would like to know the effectiveness of them and why it's, as you already told, but why it's very important for Ukraine to receive them, and what are the features of them actually?
So it's a complete modular robot who was designed thanks of the return of experience of the firefighters, especially the Paris Fire Brigade. So we designed this robot not just with engineers, but we put firefighters on the ground, around the table with engineers, with a clear mission, how we can develop a robotics tools with modularity. So there is 12 mission modules. So it's not just a robot who can throw water. You can have complete different mission. You can evacuate wounded persons. You can displace obstacles. You can, for example, put an arm on it to displace something who can explode, make ISR mission, so intelligence, reconnaissance mission. And the main idea is to go indoor mission, to make indoor mission. So inside to, for example, find the hotspot, make a surgical strike and move out. And thanks to the robotics, your consumption of water is divided by 10, for example, in a normal case, fire operation.
With the delivery of these 40 robots, do you see this is kind of the beginning of the long-term technological partnership between France and Ukraine in this civil protection mission?
Of course, because we help and support to grow the civil resiliency, and we are part also on the anti-drone air attack thanks to this robot who go every day in missions when there is a strike made by the Russian army on the ground to find casualties, to extinct fire. So the idea is to providing a long-term collaboration, because we know that after we delivered these 40 units in 7 months, we know there is more operational needs to support them on the ground, and especially on the 23 region in Ukraine. So that's why we are thinking to establish a local footprint in order to provide maintenance repair operation directly to support the CESU, but also to produce locally in the country.
How did you assess where the Colossus is ready for the conditions to work in Ukraine? Because we also know that it's not only fire, but it could be also cold, as now in winter, debris, drone strikes, and also unstable infrastructure.
Exactly. So the main idea of this robot is, we work a long time since the State Emergency Service to have their return of experience, because as you know, in Ukraine, it's a war, it's a war, so the conditions are quite tough. So we need to work with jamming, with special difficulties. So we work in order to have return of experience and improve our robots on the long term. So the main idea is not just only providing robots, it's also supporting them on the field, on the journey in this crisis.
From your perspective, what is the main task for them? Is it to work in energy infrastructure fires, in the collapsed buildings, or where do you want them to be used?
Yeah. It can go wherever on the indoor operations. So it can go on a building, of course. As you know, the critical infrastructure like the energy, like you said, are targeted by the strikes. So of course the robot can protect it. The idea is to go deeper, to the firemen stay outside, and they remotely control the robot to go within, to localize the hotspot, make a surgical strike, and then to move out. So all the firefighters remain in security, and you provide efficiency on the difficult, tough operations, especially when you have energy facilities, and also on the nuclear site, because the robot was designed to be resistant to certain level of resistance or radioactivity resistance.
And these robots are used in different regions in Ukraine, not only in Kyiv, right?
Yes, you're right, exactly. It's deployed in different regions, and especially to protect the critical infrastructure and also to go quickly after the strike on the ground.
I'm also curious how Ukrainian rescue teams know how to use these robots, because during the presentation we've heard that some of them were taught how to use them in France.
Yes, it's a good question. We designed this robot not just by engineers but also with firefighters. So the main idea was also to be a simple and intuitive robot, because we don't want that someone will to be a robotician to do it. So the idea is to have something very intuitive, very simple. So the training is very fast. It's just 2 days to operate the robots. And of course, the CESU member came to France to be trained to operate the robots, but also to maintain the robots.
We also see that now the Ukrainian rescue teams are one of few in the world who use these unmanned technologies. How do you assess the general your impression of rescue teams in Ukraine?
Yes, the rescue team in Ukraine are moving fast because the conditions are very tough, especially during this war. So the idea is providing efficiency and find casualties, extract them from a certain position. And this is the advantage of the robotics, because you protect the firemen, and also you make your mission in order to extend the fire and evacuate wounded persons. And as you see on the market and globally, also in time of peace, of course, the robot is using in every warehouse fire, because as you know, in a warehouse, which is the most common fire on Europe, US for example, there is a risk of the roof is collapsing. So now the firefighters remain outside and use the robot to go inside, make a surgical strike directly, and you save consumption, you save water, and you provide efficiency.
How could you also assess the effectiveness on the ground? I mean, now Ukraine is kind of a battle where you can test different technologies and then do some advances in your home country.
The idea is to work closely with the CESU operators in order to have their return of experience and improve the robots every year with them. That's why we want to have a local footprint, to work closely in R&D with them in order to answer to the needs on the ground.
And my last question, What impressed you most in the interactions with Ukrainian rescues? And if you could give them one message, what would be this message for them?
I mean, as a European, we are very impressed by the resiliency of the women and the men in Ukraine in these tough conditions during this war, and this is very impressive from the European perspective. And we know that Europe needs to be, as a collective, need to support Ukraine in these difficult times. So this is very impressive by the Ukrainian people, show a lot of resiliency in this conflict.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a very successful project that was quickly implemented within a year. We received 40 robots from the French Republic. Our specialists underwent the necessary training in France. The main value of these robots is that they allow us to preserve the lives of our rescuers during repeated strikes and avoid risking their safety. These robots are already actively operating. As soon as we received the first unit from our partners, it was immediately deployed to the units located along the front line. Each of these robots has already taken part in extinguishing dozens of fires, and most importantly, they have helped save the lives of rescuers and civilians. Unmanned systems are already used around the world. We are simply the largest operator because we are the only rescue service with a dedicated unit for unmanned technologies. They have their own management structure, which ensures their effective deployment and operation. Of course, our teams work very closely with the manufacturers. They actively provide feedback on what could be improved. These robots were originally designed for civilian use before coming to Ukraine. We operate them in difficult conditions with radio-electronic interference and carry out very specific tasks where damage can occur. The French side listens, and every new batch of robots has already been upgraded in accordance with our recommendations.